Good morning. So we already completed three chapters. That is one about the electric field, then about electric potential and the current electricity. Three important chapters over. Now we are moving to the next chapter or next unit. You have two chapters together as a unit. So in this one we will study about the magnetism. That is moving charges and magnetism. That is we are studying about the relation between the charges which is moving and the magnetic field associated with that one. So already we know if you have a charge, around the charge we will have an electric field. The equation for the electric field also we studied. So if you have a charge which is stationary, that produces an electric field around that one. Now if the charge is moving along with this electric field, it produces a magnetic field also. So all these magnetic properties starts when a charge is starting to move. So if you take the basic magnetic material, there also the magnetic field is due to the movement of the charged particle or the electrons. So the reason for magnetism is the movement of the charges. So again, when you are studying in higher level, you will understand the electric field is due to the charge, and when the charge is moving, it produces the magnetic field, and if the charge is accelerating, it will produce electromagnetic waves. That we will study in another chapter. Here what you should know is when the charge is moving, it produces magnetic effects. So there is an area around this moving charge. That field is the magnetic field. And just like electric field, magnetic field is a measurable quantity also. We can measure how much is the magnetic field. And it's a vector quantity, it's having direction. And there is a unit also. The unit SI unit of magnetic field is Tesla. Little bit things you studied in 10th standard about all these things. And when a charge is kept in an electric field, it will experience a force. Coulomb's force we already discussed. Similarly, when you keep a charge in a magnetic field, there also it will experience a force. That force is called as the Lorentz force. So when a charge is kept in a magnetic field, it will experience a force. That force is called as Lorentz force. So if a charge is moving through a combined electric and magnetic field, it will experience force due to both. That is, due to the electric field it will experience one force, and due to magnetic field it will experience another force. And in the Lorentz force equation we have the combined equation. When a charge is kept in a both electric and magnetic field, what will be the total force acting on that one. And there is a small difference in the direction, because if you have one charge here, another charge here, there is a electric force of attraction which is along the line joining these two charges. That is, it will be attracting this way or repelling that way. But when it comes to the magnetic field, it is not like that. If you have a source of magnetic field here, you have a charge here, then the direction of force, it is not attracting this way or this way, it will be perpendicular to that one. That we will study. When you write the equation, it will be clear. Just like how you use the right hand thumb rule, like that it will have a perpendicular direction. You study in 10th standard. If you have a wire, the field around the wire is perpendicular to that one. That is, it will make concentric circle. That is, if you have a current carrying wire like this, you want to find the direction of magnetic field around this one, you have to use the right hand. You have to hold the right hand in such a way that thumb shows the direction of current. The remaining fingers will curl around the conductor in the direction of magnetic field. This is right hand thumb rule. And for circular loop also you study in 10th standard. Again we will deal all these things here, but you just think about the 10th standard thing, and along these videos the 10th standard physics video also is there. That also you can watch. Just in the same channel you can watch it, so that you will, if you forgot what you studied in 10th standard, you can again think about that one. Now we have to study about this Lorentz force and other effects also, and where it is applied. Or we can say now next two chapter we will study about the magnetism. First chapter we will study about the relation between magnetic and electric fields and magnetism and electricity. In the next chapter we will study about the permanent magnet and the different magnetic properties of the materials. Such things we will study. So now we will go for a complete unit of magnetism and its related things. So the first one is Lorentz force. Let us go to the Lorentz. Let us first think about the force acting on a charged particle. So if you have a charged particle, for example, you have a charged particle here, then we have some force acting on that one. The first type of force is what we know, the force due to the electric field. So the equation for electric field, we already done. Electric field E is given by E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1. Or if you have only one Q, then you can write capital Q, Q by R square. Now the force acting on the charge is given by F is equal to Q into E, or force is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught this Q into small q divided by R square. So this is the force acting on the charged particle due to the electric field. If you have the electric field as E, we can use this simple equation. So in most of the cases we will use this one only. The force acting due to electric field is given by F is equal to Q into E. So this equation will take as the main equation. Now you see here, this is the case where you have only electric field. Now if you have both electric field and magnetic field, we will have force due to both electric field and magnetic field. That is, the force F is given by F electric plus F magnetic. So due to magnetic field also we have a force, and due to electric field also we have a force. So due to electric field, this is the force, already we know. Due to magnetic field also we have a force. So when you write this one together, this due to magnetic field, the force is given by F is equal to V cross B. This B is the magnetic field. It is depending on the position. That's why I will write B of R. Or if you add these two together, we can write F is equal to Q into E of R. I am writing E of R because this at different position the electric field can be different. Plus Q into V cross B. This is also depending on the R value. Okay, like this. Now you see here, you can take this Q outside, so you can write F is equal to Q into E of R plus V cross V, like this. So this total force is the sum of force due to the electric field and the magnetic field, or we can call this one as Lorentz force. So this force is called as Lorentz force. Lorentz force. Okay, this force is called as Lorentz force. So when a charged particle is moving in both electric and magnetic field, the net force is given by this equation, and this total force is called as Lorentz force. Now when we discuss about Lorentz force, we have many things to remember. The first thing is, if you take the force, the equation already we will write once more. V is equal to V cross B. Okay, this V is the velocity of that one. The charged particle is moving, and B is the magnetic field. Now you see here, the force depends on both velocity and the magnetic field. And if the charged particle is a negatively charged, then we have to take the direction as opposite. That we will discuss after this one. Okay, and the magnetic force is a vector product because it is cross product we are taking. So it's a, so this force is a vector, and this V cross B. So this V is vector, and this is also, so this is a vector product. So what is the meaning of that one? This vector product will be perpendicular to both V and B. The meaning is you have to use the right hand rule. That is, if velocity is along this direction and B is along this direction, then you have to use the V cross B. This is V cross B. V is this one, B is this one. So you have to use the right hand like this towards upside. So it will be perpendicular to both V and B. You have to use the right hand rule for this one. Okay, so using the right hand rule, we can find which is the direction. So how to use this right hand rule? From V to B, you have to hold your hand. So like this. Okay. So we have to hold your fingers from V to B. So the right hand with the right hand, and this thumb will show the direction of the force. So main point is here the force depends on velocity V and magnetic field B, and also on the angle between V and B also. And the net force is not in the direction of B or in the direction of V. It is perpendicular to both V and B. It will be perpendicular to both this one, and the direction can be obtained using our right hand rule. Now one more thing, if the charged particle is positive, this is applicable. If the charged particle is negative particle, just like the case of our electron, then same thing you find out. After finding, you can put the direction as opposite like this toward this direction, and you can say this is opposite direction because the particle is a negatively charged particle. That is, the force will be experiencing in the opposite direction. And again, the magnetic field you have to take in the SI unit. We already discussed. It will be Tesla. You have to take in Tesla. The magnetic field you have to take in Tesla. And we have another small unit also, Gauss. That is a very small unit. That is 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla makes 1 G. Okay. So this we will use this Tesla as the SI unit. This 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla means it's a small value. That is, it is something like the magnetic field of Earth. Earth's magnetic field is coming in this range, 10 to the power minus 4. But SI unit is 1 Tesla, which is bigger than this one. Okay, it is nearly 10,000 times more than this one. So if any magnetic field is given in Gauss, you have to convert it into Tesla before doing the calculation. Now, if you take your textbook, you can see what is the magnitude of the magnetic field at different point in terms of Tesla. That is on the surface of the neutron star, and all the highest magnetic field will be there. That is 10 to the power 8 Tesla like this. Okay, in a laboratory, the big magnets which we can use in the laboratory, that will be in the range of 1 Tesla and all. The small magnet is in the range of 1 by 100 of a Tesla. That is 10 to the power minus 2 Tesla and all you will have. And very, very small magnetic field, that is human nerves in our brain nerves and all, that will be in the range of 10 to the power minus 10 Tesla. That type it will look. I think you got almost an idea of how much will be 1 Tesla. 1 Tesla, so you can just think like this, 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla means it is something like the Earth's magnetic field. That is, if you suspend a small magnetic needle, it can slowly turn. So for that slowly turning, we need something like 10 to the power minus 2 Tesla. And the small magnets, bar magnets and all which you are using, that will be having in the range of 10 to the power minus 2 Tesla. So that will be the almost value of magnetic field. Now you can go through this video once more, so you will get the clear idea about the Lorentz force. And Lorentz force, the thing you have to remember is this equation for the Lorentz force. And once more you have to remember, if you take here one point and here is the source of the magnetic field is here, and if your charge is here, then the electric field, that force will be acting on this line connecting these two R. But our magnetic field will be acting perpendicular to this one. Whether it will be that way or this way or this way, it depends on the movement of the charged particle also. When a charged particle is moving, it depends on the movement of the charged particle. That is velocity. You have to take V cross B. Anyway, you can make sure that it is perpendicular to both V and B. And perpendicular to V and B can be in two directions. Which direction? That you can use V cross B. Okay. For a positively charged particle. For a negatively charged particle, you change the direction. You take the direction as opposite.